Primitive data types. In JavaScript, a primitive value is a single value with no properties or method. So when you have a value that does not have properties or method, that is what is referred to as a primitive value in JavaScript. Then also uh, JavaScript has 7 of these primitive data types, and these are the list of the 7 primitive data types that we have in JavaScript. So we have string, we have number, we have boolean, we have big int, we have symbol, we have none, and we have undefined. Now, the type of operator returns the type of a variable or an expression. So this particular type of operator can be used to identify the type that each of these primitive data types belongs to. So let's take a look at this in my code editor. So I'll pull this up and wipe this out. So we are talking about primitive data types. Primitive data types in JavaScript. So now that we have this, so the type of operator returns the type of a variable or an expression. So I can try to get out some values. Let you start from this and say, okay, so I'll add a break tag. I want to add double, then plus, and then go down and say, okay, I want to use the single quote for the second one, John plus 2. Start option 2 plus double break. And then the next one, so I'm adding different values so that we can test and see how this works in the JavaScript context of type of 33 plus 66 and then I'll just choose as false, and then I want to add number 1, 2, 3, and is type of false to bridge, and lastly I want to pick symbol. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically picking each of the primitive type and then see what each of them does in type of situation to show us what their value is likely going to be. Then I think I missed something here. Okay, I think I should have a noun here. Good. So if you look at my screen now, you can see John is string. John plus do is also string because it's enclosed in this single quote. You can see it. You can see it's a string. Now, 3.14, the type of 3.14 is a number. You can see 33 is also a number. 33 plus 66 is number, as you can see, even though it is in brackets, but it's still a number. Not a number, none is also a number. The type of not a number is number. Then true is a boolean. You know, boolean has just two values, true or false. Then false is a boolean value, and 1, 2, 3, n or for type of false is a boolean value, and the type of symbol is symbol. Yx is undefined because this has no value. So this is how the primitive data type behaves in JavaScript when it comes to getting the type of each of these primitive value. Now, in JavaScript, if we have something like this, none type of none, let's see what will happen. This should return an object. However, this is a bug in JavaScript and it has historical reasons. So returning object is not correct for a none, but due to the fact that it's a known bug in JavaScript and that's historical reason, so no changes has been done to it. So when you search for the type, check for the type of no, it's always going to return an object to you. So let's move on. I quickly talked about the other aspect, which is the complex data type. So a complex data type can store multiple values and different data types together. JavaScript has one more complex data type. It has objects. All other complex types like arrays, functions, sets, and maps are just different types of objects. The type of operator returns only two types, objects and function. So this is the type of complex data types that we have in JavaScript. And note that the type of operator, when you use it on objects, for types of objects, it will return the type of object that it is. So it will return an object if it's an object, it will return an array if it is an array, it will return object for each of the object types that we have. So if you use it for array, map, set, function, it will always return object, which means that the type of operator cannot be used to determine if a JavaScript object is an array or a date. So if you want to understand or know the specific type of the object, you cannot use the type of operator. For example, if you want to know if an array is if an element is an array or it belongs to an array object class, you cannot use the type of operator to identify it. So you use another operator that is specific only to array to identify that this is an array operator. So an array operator, and that is because the type of operator return only two types, either an object or a function.